Our top story this hour, just in but still confirming the story. CBN, that's the Central Bank of Nigeria, has called banks that the rate cap has been removed at the I&E window. Hence, banks and customers are allowed to trade freely at any rate, subject to the Naira spread between buy and sell rate. Now joining us to discuss this now, just off the Global Business Report.
We just broke the news
Rotus,
2 seconds ago.
Fill us in. I can feel the excitement.
Yeah, we're going to be here for the next 7 hours talking about it. I'm kidding. No, and good morning to you both.
Good morning.
The I&E window, the investors and exporters window, was introduced in 2017. Yeah, and it was supposed to be allow for the free trading of the currency. And the central bank announced this in a circular saying that investors and exporters can pool, their funds, that is FX, into this particular pool and determine the rates. Unfortunately, because of scarcity of FX, the central bank was still the main player in that pool and basically determining what the rate was going to be. So now, in line with what the President Tinubu has said at the inauguration speech, where he said that he wants a unified exchange rate, we've now seen this news, which is, we're going to get official word later, but this is pretty much confirmed at this point from a number of banks, that you can now trade freely. What that means is that you have a market-determined rate. The rates, if you check FMDQ, which is where you take a look at what the rate closes at on the I&E window, closes at 472. But there's been a disparity. We all know, both of you guys get dollars, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
we have a few above on standby.
Now, this is an easy thing we can explain to anybody. Where do you get your dollars? Do you get them from a bank or do you go outside?
I mean, by the time you apply for PTC and
No, thank you. PTA, right? That's your personal
PTA,
travel allowance.
Yes.
BTA is your business travel allowance. You can get this at the exchange, the official exchange rate, but it takes a long time. And also there's this little amount that you can get, that amount has been reduced. Now, that is because of the dollar scarcity in the market. And also there is that disparity with the parallel market, to where most people have to go there to go and source stuff for their money. Now, that disparity has been causing, it has been making it difficult for foreign direct investment to come into the country. Now, because if you are a foreign investor, if a Cynthia or Shaiton,
wow.
I'm too excited this afternoon. This news is making my head. So if a Cynthia or Shaiton is outside Nigeria and wants to bring foreign exchange into the country, what rate do you use? That has been the issue. So now, with a freely determined exchange rate, let me tell you what the impact is going to be now. Anyone who wants to bring money into the country knows that there's just going to be one rate. There's transparency there. So now now money can come in. President Tinubu, in his inauguration speech, said that he wants to make sure that foreign investors have liquidity to be able to come in and out. So now you're bringing liquidity to the market by making sure that there's money. Also, this could actually probably kill off the black market. I'm not going to make any bold pronouncements here, but if you have a Naira spread between your buy and your sell, you are now trying to bring together a convergence. So now the black market is going to be impacted here, because if you already have the I&E window where investors, exporters, and other participants, mostly commercial banks and so on and so forth, are making sure that the market determines the rate, then why have a black market, right? So hopefully, now the other side of this is your rates is now going to be determined by market forces. Unfortunately, we have speculators. You've seen what's happened with fuel, right? Where people hold on to fuel and cause the price to go up. Now that hopefully has also been ended, because we have a deregulated downstream market with fuel. Now, if the market is going to determine the exchange rates at which the Naira trade, at which the dollar trades here in Nigeria, you could be prone to spikes, which means that speculators will try to drive up the price, which is why the central bank has been intervening so much. However, if you have a freely determined rate and you've got oil and gas companies, oil majors, commercial banks, investors, everyone is now encouraged and saying, oh, Nigeria has a free rate, I can bring my money in, I now know what the rate is. That should theoretically
bring those spikes
offset what it is that speculators are trying. So this is huge. And look, we are only 16 days into this new administration. We've removed fuel subsidies, removed the central bank governor. They've signed a student loan act to allow students, and now this single exchange rate now, with banks being allowed to trade freely in the market. this is, we don't even have a cabinet yet. I mean, Tinubu is doing all this himself. You wonder if we do need a cabinet, but we do need a cabinet, we do. So this is massive. And now, we have to watch and see what the Naira trades at for the rest of the day. But this has been one of the biggest impediments to FX coming into this country. Even, I mean, look at the issues with airlines being able to get their money out. What exchange rate do you use? You know, that just ends. You know, and it's huge news. It's massive.
Does this take effect immediately?
Well, yeah. I mean, based on what we're hearing from the commercial bank participants that we've been talking to, is that, yeah, as long as that band, so that 1 Naira band, the spread means the difference between what you're, buying and selling. As long as that's, that's the instruction that this spread shouldn't be more than 1 Naira, but it should take effect immediately, and we should now, take a look at what their Naira trades at. Does this mean there's a devaluation? Yes, because that 471, 472 rate was not realistic. And so it's got to now. So here's the thing: you've got
in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle, right? So you've had, a official exchange rate at 472, parallel market rate about 750, 755. If you freely allow the Naira to trade, so this is very easy. 3 of us could be the participants in the market. This table is your I&E window. Sheito brings some dollars in. Rotus, how much do you want to buy? Then I turn to Cynthia. Cynthia, I have some dollars now. How much? The participants, the free market,
now agree on
the rate, and then other participants come in, and it's like anything. How much is a phone? How much is tomatoes? It's the market that determines it. So the dollar is like any other item that the market will freely take. There's no invisible hand that is going to be, moving things up and down. So transparency, liquidity, hopefully, it's big, and it's coming pretty quickly.
I know this sounds wonderful, but are there any predictions about some individuals that might try to frustrate this process? Yeah,
so good question. It's the fear is speculators, because if you have a free market now, you know that the central bank is not going to come in to intervene. By the way, this is another thing. By freely floating your currency, or maybe a managed float, you save your reserves, right? So the way this works, we have about $35 billion in FX reserves that the CBN has. When if the rate is getting out of control, you take from your reserves and sell into the market. So you increase the supply in order to try to control the price and bring it down. That's when you try to manage it. If you take the handbrake off and you allow the market to freely trade, what your great question is now is that some nefarious characters will want to try to hold on to supply and drive the price up and then sell so they can make more money at that. But again, it could happen. But the flip side is that more participants who have legitimate, needs and so on will bring more money in to offset that. So what we could look at now is more supply of FX coming into Nigeria, more foreign investment coming in, more foreign portfolio investment. Those are people who buy stocks, and you saw the stock market pop yesterday, right? We might actually see that continue today. So look, this has been a real burden for the country for quite a while, and to see this, to see the administration, the Tinubu administration, moving as quickly as they said they would to get this done, we just have to monitor the rate now and see, because now, where do we settle at? It could, we'll be monitoring now. We could go to, it's not going to be 470, it could be 6, it could be 700. We'll just have to see how the rate goes, but it is free. It is determined by the market, and that's as capitalist as you can get. Yeah.
All right, Rotus, thank you so much for bringing this.
I'm just wondering, though.
Yeah.
Because you talked about how fast this administration is moving.
Right.
Since you're the expert here, what is the next move you think the president is going to make?
What's the next move? Okay, so we had a guest on the Global Business Report. She was in. She has organic products that she uses to make.
I think that's
Orikilewa Cosmetics, right? She said one of the main issues that she has is access to finance. In fact, she never even got any access to finance when she started her business. President Tinubu in his inauguration said that interest rates have to come down. I will see how he gets that together. But I mean, pick what you want sorted. Is it power? Is it insecurity? Insecurity is number one on his agenda, in his manifesto, and what he says. He's already had meetings with security chiefs. So what's next? I mean, he's attending to several different things at a time, but if we can get interest rates down so you can get cheaper finance for businesses, you'll get more businesses, right? And in fact, the Student Loan Act that he signed, remember that after a period of time, about 2 years after your NYSC, you have to start paying back that loan. Now, we have a 54% unemployment rate for youth. We've got the 33% rate in general. The Tinubu administration now is incentivized to bring interest rates down and create an enabling business environment that opens up more opportunities for more SMEs to open. Because if you get more SMEs, you get more jobs, and then people who take those student loans that
They're
they sign
able to pay back
can
in
pay
that,
it back.
in that 2 years.
So it's almost a a self-target for the administration to make sure that they get more jobs out there so that these businesses can pay. So, I mean, youth unemployment is there. Power. I think he's got to really focus on power. You gotta get that going.
I admit you are a fantastic teacher. Everyone, even though I'm not a business expert, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you for breaking it
business.
down.
Do we call you analyst, correspondent?
Anyone.
Business
colleague.
Business analyst, colleague,
correspondent, yes.
teacher. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Rotus
thank
Oddiri.
you,
It's been a
thank you.
pleasure. Thank
Appreciate it.
you.